It's time to cut on the mics and welcome you to the beginning of the City Council meeting for Thursday, November the 10th. We are especially honored to have Dr. Joel Martinez with us tonight from the Loganville Christian Church, who's going to do our invocation for us. Dr. Joel?
Are we in agreement to pray?
Yes.
Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for the rain which we need so much. We praise you for this time that you've given to us to govern that which has been given to us. Commit this meeting into your hands. We want to honor you and praise you. And we look forward to that day that you return. We give you all the honor, the glory, and the praise. Amen.
Amen. Lynn, what branch of the military were you in?
Yes,
Okay. Do you mind standing up in the middle here with a veteran of the Navy and y'all lead us with the pledge? I mean, does that bother you? Come on up to the middle right here. Dr. Joel, come on up. We got two veterans here that can lead us in the pledge. Okay, good. Come on over. Thank y'all so much. And let me add one other word. The Coast Guard certainly counts. If you're the one that's needing rescue in a hurricane or something like that, and a helicopter from the Coast Guard shows up, I promise you they count. Okay, now we need to go on to an adoption of the agenda. We need a motion, please. Okay, we have a motion to adopt the agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, so carried. We will live with the agenda. Okay, now we have on Monday, we had interviews with 3 candidates for the Loganville Development Authority, and we have the results of the selections made by the council. And Danny, since you counted and tallied up the numbers, cut your mic on.
Sorry, on.
Okay, pull it down towards you.
I'll speak loud enough.
I know. No, you can't.
Yes, sir.
Would you give us those results?
I'm a little shocked from Tuesday night, so. I can tell you Tara Argo has the least number, and that makes her the top qualifier. Tristan, jump in and tell me. You want me to put them in order?
Not
you want?
necessarily.
Okay, well, Tara Argo had a total of 10 votes. Lee Hicks had a total of 14 votes, and Captain Swanson had a total of 12 votes. So the lowest points is the top candidate.
I like golf. I never was good at that one either, but all 3 candidates, we have 2 of them here tonight, Catherine and Lee. All 3 of you would have been an asset to the LDA, and there will be another time. Tara Argo, who was selected, owns 3 and getting ready to start a 4th enterprise on Main Street, and she has a lot of experience, as all of them do. And we really appreciate yourself coming for the interview and putting yourself in a place where you could serve the city, and we'll be back with you before long, I promise. Okay? Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Okay, the first thing we got, do we want
You need to adopt the resolution.
to, okay, we need a motion to adopt that resolution.
So moved.
Okay, we need a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. So approved. Okay, we need a motion to adopt the consent agenda that we agreed to on Monday night. And all of you with the agendas in your hands can see what was agreed to by the council.
So
Need a
moved.
motion? Okay, we got a motion? Well, it's a quiet bunch tonight. Monday night must have wore us all out. It's only 3 hours. Okay, we have a motion to adopt the consent agenda. Do we have a second? Second. Very good. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, consent agenda is carried. And now we'll move to Planning and Development Committee. Ms. Linda Dodd.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, I would like to make a motion that we move to table the following cases. Case number A22-008, case number R22-009, case number A22-0112, case number R22-013, case number A22-014, case number R22-015. And we want to move these all to the December meeting, council meetings.
Okay, so if I remember right, the December the 5th will be the day of our work session.
Correct.
And we will have, that's a public open meeting, as this is, but we'll also have where people can tell us their thoughts on those particular issues. And then on that following Thursday, the vote will be taken.
Correct.
And on that Thursday, we'll also open up at the end of the meeting and take community feedback. Beginning in December, if we adopt a resolution tonight, we will start taking the feedback from the community at the end of the work session, which is before when votes are taken, and we will also move the time allowed from 3 minutes to 5 minutes. However, that has to be approved tonight. So, with that said, anything else, Linda?
No, that's it. I make a motion. I need somebody.
Okay, we
to
have a
second.
motion. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved.
And that's all I have, Mayor.
All righty, thank you, Linda. And now we'll move to Finance Human Resource Committee, Ann Hunsinger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two things on my agenda. We discussed on Monday night the city manager purchasing limit. Based on the wastewater chemicals that we need, some of the city vehicles that need maintenance and work, we are asking to increase his general limit spending that does not require council approval to $15,000 for general purchases and chemical fuel to $20,000. As a reminder, he can't, there's a very long, broad process where there are 5 people that look at every invoice and purchase order. So there's plenty of controls in place. We also see all of the expenditures on the budget and the budget reports, which are sent in on every council. So I would like to ask if there's any other, if there's no other discussion, that we approve this spending limit increase.
I just would like to make a couple of comments.
Okay.
Again, I want to just reiterate that my concerns here, or my questions, have absolutely zero to do with my trust for Danny. The city of Loganville is a business and should be ran like a business. A couple of years ago, Danny's spending limit was $5,000, and because of COVID, the previous council voted to raise that spending limit to $7,500, which was a $2,500 increase. So we're here now, a couple of years later, asking to double that spending, and I don't like to see that trajectory because Danny's not going to be here forever, and when we have a new city manager and we've set a precedence of doubling or making such a large increase, one, you're going to have a hard time. It can be done that you would roll back the next city manager's spending limits, but I'd like to stay on the track that we've been on, which I would be perfectly fine if we went from 7,500 to 10,000, and I have absolutely zero concerns about raising the fuel and chemical cost to 20,000. So I just want to make my position known about that. Thank you.
Okay, just one other bit of information. Any checks and any invoices are subject to our annual audit, and that's just a 6th check and balance. Okay, do we have a motion, Ann?
Well, I
Anybody
can.
else
Does
have
anybody
input?
else have any other input? With that said, I'd like to make a motion to increase the city manager's general limit to 15 grand for general purchases and chemical fuel to 20 grand.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 5-1.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, is that it, Ann?
No, sir, I've got one other thing.
That's fine. Okay.
You may recall, on Monday night, the city manager made a presentation about Tyler Technologies' contract. We were removing the ESS time and attendance, which is happening, but this is the annual invoice, so this is the balance of that, which is $35,456 coming from the general fund and $35,456 from the waste fund. Does anybody have any questions about this? If not, I'd like to make a motion to approve the annual invoice in the total amount of $70,912.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So carried.
Thank you, everybody. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ann. Okay, we'll move to Public Safety Committee. Jay Boland.
Thank you. Chief Lowry, please come up to the podium. We have a presentation for Donut Dash, and I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you. Just very briefly, for those that don't know, back in 2012, after a conversation with Janice and Harold Tribble about the financial struggles that the Walton County Special Olympics faces every year to fund the games and the other things that are done, the bowling trips and different things like that. One of the biggest expenditures, believe it or not, is transportation for these very special children, special athletes, that is charged by the school system for the use of their buses and fuel and things like that. So, in order to try to help them with that, we decided to hold a 5K run with the intention that our goal was to raise enough to cover the transportation costs. And as that time went on, it grew a little bit. The first year, we gave them about $4,100, and that has grown. And unfortunately, like many things with COVID, we had to take a couple of years off from holding our 5K, the Donut Dash. And we held what will be it's the 10th year, but the 8th annual because of holding off 2 years. We held that last month. And we were concerned, honestly, about how it was going to go since we hadn't done it for a couple of years, and talking to some other race planners, but we felt like it was still worthwhile to be whatever we could raise to help Walton County Special Olympics. So if all y'all will come up here, and Miss Janice and everybody, we got a presentation for you. Well, Harold has done the fun run with us before. That is true.
I had a wreck in the car.
Oh, no. Well,
We're not supposed to be driving with you.
well, that's okay. I'll give you a special dispensation. I would like to acknowledge Jessica Hamilton did an extraordinary amount of work on getting flyers and mailers and sponsors and keeping up with all of it. So thank you very much for that, Jessica, and all of these guys that participate and got to meet some of these special athletes on run day. So Janice, our goal was, we were hoping that after taking this off that we'd be able to do $10,000 to give Special Olympics this year. And we didn't quite do that. But it's my pleasure to present to Walton County Special Olympics a check for $15,313. And that is the biggest Donut Dash that we've had so far.
Excellent.
And that brings the total that we've been able to raise for Walton County Special Olympics to just a few dollars short of $77,000.
I
Thank you.
want to,
Super.
Harold and I need to say a little something, and I know that everybody likes to go home early, so I promise I won't talk too long. But I want to tell you how the Donut Dash started. Dick, you remember sitting on my sofa? Robin was not here at the time. I think maybe you were expecting, and we had somebody else. Anyway, to make a long story short, the attorney that was here actually gave a donation, and the night that I was handing out shirts from Special Olympics, I handed her a shirt. And Mike McHugh turned around and he said, well, I didn't get a shirt. I said, well, I didn't get $100 from you either. And he said, oh, okay. So the next day, Dick and Mike came to my house and told me that they would like to do something for Walton County Special Olympics. It was like an answer to a prayer. We had a little over $300 in the bank. That's all we had. And we were fixing to have bowling, which cost a little over $1,000 back then. And we were just praying hard, God, you just got to do something to help us make some money. Well, when they gave us that first check, it was 3 weeks before we had to write a check for bowling. And it was like God just answered a prayer. And I want to tell all of you, we have the most wonderful police department of anywhere around. And I've worked with a lot of them because of Special Olympics. And these people here are absolutely wonderful. God sent Dick Lowry and Greg and all of you guys to help us. And we have now 367 children in Walton County that are special needs. And it's so hard. It is so hard when you see these children that don't have what they need. But tonight I'm going to say a little special thank you because Dick and Greg have been there every time we've had this. Jay Boland and his wife and son did the run. Bill supported it. I don't think you've run with us, have you, Bill? Brandon and his wife ran. Kyle, if he gets in trouble, you guys don't think you can catch him because you can't. No way. He's a fast runner. And also, we have a little runner. Weren't you the one that did something? No. Wrong one. Wrong one. I'm sorry. We had another little police officer that ran like crazy. And, of course, Harold did the number one, you know.
I run and I come in first on last year's race.
Anyway, we just say, thank you, Lord, for all you do for us, for our children. Not for us, for our children. Because we have been able, all of the people that have supported us have been absolutely wonderful. The sponsors that we have, we just can't say thank you enough. Because we have a lot of sponsors in Monroe, in Loganville, and just everywhere. I get, sometimes people call and say, how do I mail a check to you? Just mail it to me and I'll give it. Amanda Reed keeps up with all of our money, and thank God she's real good with a computer. You know, I'm not too hot on computers, but she's good. But anyway, thank you all so much. We ask God's blessings on everybody. Thank you, Danny, for always being there.
You know, people don't realize how the special needs kids are something to be handled very good. Some of them probably never would leave the back of their house if it wasn't for not only me, but we have Janice and a lot of the people that come by. We have a bunch sometime. But anyway, it's something to be thinking about, you know. I know in an organization like this, you're gonna have some that have special needs, and we hope it's all done good. Thank you.
God bless you. All
Thank you, Dick.
Very nice.
Thank you for Dick, thank you, buddy. Greg.
Mayor and Council, that's all we have from the police department tonight, but I would like to take a moment and thank all of the members of the council that helped sponsor this race and this worthy cause. Thank you very much, Mr. Whitfield, for running with us this year, and he didn't fall and he didn't pass out, so he did great. Did very well, and his wife ran as well. So thank you guys for the sponsorships over the years, and we're going to continue to keep doing this, and I look forward to here in a year or two be able to stand here and tell you that our total raise is over $100,000, and I hope it'll continue long after I'm gone. So thank y'all very much.
Chief, hold on. That's a lot of money. So how much
Great.
money was it again? 15,330 what?
15,003. What is it? Is it 313 or 331? I can't remember now.
I need to know exactly.
Well, I've got a copy of it, but
Let me see.
what is it, Greg? Look
Not
out
to
there.
steal the thunder before Chief, because he has a pistol, but you're gonna have to now turn around and improve that amount, because it's over my limit. If I would have had that on the agenda before he spoke,
Do I have
Jay
to make a
would've told me
motion
up.
to approve that?
yeah,
$15,000, say again, please, Ms. Jean? Yep.
And tomorrow is her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Ms. Janice.
Happy birthday.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the donation to the Special Olympics in the amount of $15,313.41.
We have a motion, we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
of those opposed? Motion carried. Lost
so
that one.
before I get yelled at, the reason's not on the agenda because it would've took away from the presentation. Of course. So that's why I want to let y'all know that.
That's a great job. I've got to tell you, the kids that work with the Special Olympics or involved in Special Olympics are special people. They really are some great, and I hate to call them kids, great people. They really are. I would tell you a story about one year I was helping Harold cook hot dogs, but I won't tell the rest of the story, Harold. However, it took a bottle of water to fix the problem. Somehow we were cooking the hot dogs and we had them in a pan, and in the transfer from me or Harold or whoever, the pan hit the ground as well as the dogs. And I said, Harold, what are we going to do now? He said, hand me a bottle of water. And it was fixed. Right, Harold? It was fixed. Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
How much was it, 15?
Okay. Anything else, Jay?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll move to Public Utilities Transportation Committee. Bill Duvall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no actionable items. I would like to just reiterate what we talked about on Monday, that the work for Destination Park, the water, sewer, sidewalks, and the bathrooms will be under construction in November with the scheduled completion in June. So that'll be a great thing. Hopefully we'll have that in there in time to use this summer. And then just another update. I guess everybody's seen that that T-Splosh did not pass, but so that means we'll just have to keep prioritizing all of our $45 million worth of projects and work on them as we can. I have no
That's
other
true.
items.
That's true. And we will. And the Gwinnett's had a splosh on their referendum as a replacement splosh. One is ending, and they wanted to extend it for another 6 years, and it did pass, but it wasn't transportation oriented. And we will get some money from that as well. Our just to give you an idea of sizes, the T-Splosh in Walton County was going to raise $80 million in 6 years. The Splosh in Gwinnett County was going to raise $1.37 billion in 6 years. So they're a little bigger than we are. So just the way life is. Big county. Okay? Bill, is that all? That's all. Okay. We'll move to Public Works Facilities Committee. Melanie Long.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually running in the rain, I dropped my piece of paper with all my notes on it, so I'm going to be doing this from my thoughts here. I don't remember the stormwater totals, but the chipping, I remember, I don't know how many stops, but I remember seeing that we chipped about 22.3 tons. Is that right, Danny? Yeah, somewhere around there. And then I went back and looked, and last month's meetings, between planning and zoning, the work session, and the council meeting, we had almost 400 views so far of people that are at home and involved in what's going on here. And the third thing I want to talk about, I guess, Robin, we might need to ask you about this. I know that the advocates for the animal rights, the In the Cycle, Georgia, the dog activists, have been fighting for several years to get the unattended tethered law written into Walton County, and they finally have been successful, and it was a unanimous vote on that. I just want people to realize these people have been at this since 2014, and this is when you get involved and you're passionate about something and you get behind it, you can affect change. And so I appreciate their hard work that they've done. The animals will appreciate that. They reached out to me they just want to make sure, because the county told them that just because the county passed it, that the cities also have to adopt that. And I've been speaking with Danny about that, but I'm going to let you speak on that, Robin.
Yes, the Loganville Code, Section 8-2 specifically provides that Loganville adopts the animal control ordinances of Gwinnett and Walton counties, including any amendments to those ordinances. So actually, the county attorney emailed the ordinance to me, I believe it was Friday, and I sent it to Danny, so the city already has it and will begin enforcing it.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I know the animals appreciate that. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Melanie, I sent you Jeremy's numbers if you want it,
Okay.
or I can tell you.
Yeah, you want to just run,
So
yeah.
it's 447 stops, 22.75 tons.
Thank you.
Just for info, for those of you here, the city of Loganville gives that service at no charge to pick up yard waste. I was dealing with my son in Gwinnett County, and he had some yard waste. He was selling his house, so I called the county, and I said, could I schedule a pickup? And they said, well, sure you can, as soon as we get you checked for $90. They don't pick up yard waste. The minimum cost is $90. So just for info. Okay, anything else, Melanie?
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, very good. All right, and we'll move now to Economic Development Committee. Brandon Whitfield.
I have no actionable items, but I do want to mention again, we have the Christmas parade and tree lighting presented by Piedmont Walton, Saturday, December 3rd. The parade starts at 6 p.m. The tree lighting immediately following the parade, and there's going to be music, food trucks, Santa, and more. And then we're also accepting parade applications until Friday, November 18th. So anybody hearing this that has a business or wants to promote or a group, please go to loganvilleevents.com and fill that out. And Skip, do you want to talk about the Veterans Day?
Well, I think I handed out to everybody here, or most everybody, I think, a notice about the Veterans Day ceremony tomorrow at the American Legion. It's 11th month, 11th day at 11 o'clock, 11 on the nose. And that's at the American Legion. And there's a free lunch provided by Tim Stewart's family right after that. So,
Is that an indoor event? Because we're expecting,
the indoor event.
okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, anything else, Brandon?
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Danny, who you got scheduled to take care of this contract approval? You want me to handle that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Tyler Technology contract.
You can't make motions.
Sir, I can.
You can.
I mean, I can, but it's not enforceable.
Somebody have to help you.
No,
Just,
it's just to remove the, you know what? I'm gonna let Christy Ash handle this. This is her wheelhouse. About what we're removing from the contract?
Yes, it's a amendment to the Tyler Technology software package to remove the employee self-service, which was the time and attendance piece, because y'all approved several months back for us to replace it with the UKG, which is now up and running in full effect. So we just need y'all to approve to remove this from the contract, so they will we won't have to pay for it anymore.
And how much did we save? 5,000.
5,000, I think.
Roughly 5,000.
I got it on Monday's agenda if I can find it. We saved a little over $5,000 by taking that off. That's good. Okay, now we'll move on to the city manager's report.
Yeah, I have a motion.
Okay, we need a motion. We have a second?
Second.
All approve?
Aye.
Any noes? Carried. Okay, and now we'll move to Danny Ross.
I guess I'll go there and talk. Just don't holler at me, okay?
Again? Now, this is the part of the meeting on Monday night that carried us into our third hour. So we'll see how it goes.
I'll be quick. So, before you is authority to negotiate the 2022 loss, which will go in effect 2023 till 2032. It's a 10-year deal, and I would ask that a motion be approved that I be in line with the other cities if we come to an agreement to present to the council. If we reach an agreement by all parties, it will still come back before each body for official vote. Like I said Monday night, we don't know when that will be, but it has to be done by the December 30th of 2022. So it'll be, I'm sure, a called council meeting, but it's something that's probably the most single important thing you may vote on in your 4 years here in my term as well. It's a 10-year deal, anywhere from $180 million to $300 million is what it's projected. So it is a significant source of revenue for the city of Loganville. It's about 18% of our general fund budget. We budgeted $1.8 million this year. We're probably going to collect probably a little bit over that. I'm sorry, we projected 1.9. We're going to probably collect a little bit more. Last year we collected a little over 1,800,000, I believe 46,000. Jay has the sheet, but I believe that's what it was off of memory.
1.849.
Yeah. So.
Okay, this is one of those cases where it's very possible time will be of the essence.
It is.
It's maybe a last-minute deal. 'cause
Could be the
everybody's
30th of
digging in.
December deal. Hope not, but we feel, the cities feel that we have done everything in our power to get a number that the county can live with. Unfortunately, they drew a line in the sand Tuesday night at 72% for them, 28% for the cities. We currently are at 65-35 split. Our last offer to the county was a 68-32 split. And Tuesday night, the chairman said he would not go below 72%. But it's not up to one person. It's up to the majority of their boards, the majority of this board. So I'll ask for a motion, and are you going to take questions or comments, or can we talk about anything else?
Well, it's a lot of details, trust me. Can we have a motion to?
Well, I just wanted to say before we do, I watched the video. I wasn't able to attend in person. And I don't know if the rest of y'all got a chance to watch. I know, Bill, you were there. But Danny did a fantastic job representing Loganville, and as a matter of fact, all the cities, because you were pretty much their voice. And you were very well prepared.
Thank you.
You had your facts, and you went in there, and I have 1,000% confidence that you're going to negotiate the best possible outcome for
Well,
Lost.
thank you for that. Yes, we gonna have to swallow my pride, and maybe we go to 72, maybe we don't, but I'm really standing firm where we're at now, but, you know, we're willing to talk. That's the main thing, is talking,
And
not
it's a
arguing.
decision made by the cities, the 4 cities in the county.
Yes, it has to be, the way the law reads, 50% of the population of the cities, municipalities have to agree. So if it's myself or us in Monroe, that is 50% of the city's populations. But we're united. We've been united with the other 4 cities, and just for the record, City of Monroe, City of Walnut Grove, City of Social Circle, and City of Loganville is the 4. The other 3 cities between Good Hope and Jersey, they're not listed as qualified cities with the state because you have to offer 6 services. They do not. So the Walton County would get their share, and they do currently. So, thank you.
I think it's fair to say we have seen the underbelly of local politics,
It was unique.
with people leaving meetings and things like that.
Yes.
But
So
anyway,
it's an interesting negotiation process. You know, there were negotiations going on. I know that the cities and the counties have gone back and forth. The cities have made along the lines of 11 offers or recommendations. And so the county now has made this, drawn this line in the sand, as Danny said. I kind of don't feel comfortable sitting there and I mean, yes, we want you to negotiate further, but I want to know what our council wants to do. I guess I've struggled with this, you know, all along, but especially since Tuesday night. I'm sitting there going, you know, am I in agreement that I want to approve 7228? I'm not there. It hasn't been explained to me why it needs to be that as opposed to where we are. So, you know, in my mind is, you know, is the council, we need to be in agreement with all the cities as well, Monroe, Social Circle, and Walnut Grove, but.
At least 50% of the population.
But I think we need to say something from our cities where we are, as a council, and I think the conversations that's come up was, you know, they've been through mediation, it's, you know, I met with another commission chair from a different county today, and they're working through a binding arbitration. I think that's what we need to do. And myself, that's been something we talked about, at least if you went to a binding arbitration, you know, whatever you come out of it is whatever the arbitrator determines is what we go with. But that's an option, and I'm wondering if would we want to sit here and say, you know, maybe we want a counteroffer of some percentage, 69, 70, or do we want to offer or make it known that we'd like to see arbitration? But I think we ought to say something. My feeling is the arbitration.
Yes, in our mediation, that was our last offer the cities gave, was 68.32. And if they said no to that, we asked for a binding arbitration, and they said no to that as well. So the way the law is written is the state will not rule on it. Now, if all parties agree to binding arbitration, then certainly you can do that. I know Chatham County, Savannah, I believe, is doing that. I'm not sure what county you talked to, but we offered that, and we were full acceptance. The mayor was there. Whatever the arbitrator says, he may say 26%. If we go to arbitration and we show our facts, they show their facts, and then that person makes a decision, or that panel makes a decision, whatever it is, we're willing to accept that. The county was not. So if my thought process is, if you're so confident on your numbers, what do you have to lose? Because I'm confident on our numbers. Our numbers come straight from Georgia Municipal Association. So if it's wrong, then that formula is wrong. And I know that they're going to be sided with the cities. I completely understand, and that's what I told the commissioners Tuesday night. ACCG is the counties association for all the counties in Georgia. They have a handout. I've read both. They both say the same thing. But somewhere in the middle, the elected officials of this county have to come to an agreement, and that includes y'all. So we've even asked to have all the elected officials in Walton County in one room, in one big public meeting, and we would state our case to the elected officials, all of you, so 4 cities plus the county, and then the county would present their case, and then somehow they got to come to an agreement. I mean, it's too much money to gamble with. It's last year alone, it's $17 million. Jay, what was that full number from 2021? The 17, one bullet. That was in 2021, and since collections have raised, we're projected now at 19 million for 2022. So,
and I understand the council would love to be into all these negotiations. I got to tell you, it's been days and it's been many hours, and it's a lot of numbers. I mean, gosh, it's just amazing how many numbers can be generated. But I believe Danny is the right one for Loganville to give this responsibility to. He has been involved in it from the very get-go.
thank
He
you.
and the other city managers.
I encourage all county residents to call your elected officials, including county and city, and tell them to come to an agreement, a fair agreement for all. But if you just watch the video, and you'll see me kind of refuting their facts. One of the things he said is we've never countered their facts, I believe was the word he used. We have done it day one. We have presented many offers to them. We gave them our spreadsheet where it shows where it came from. We gave it to the county manager, but I don't know if he gave it. But since then, yesterday, I emailed this out to all elected officials. I believe you all got it. But just to show you, for every % that we give up, the cities as a whole, based on last year's number, at 65%, the county would get, or did get, 11,494,000. Cities got 6.1 million. At 68%, what we said we would go to, the cities are giving up $530,000. That has to be divided between each city. So that's roughly $132,000 per city that we were willing to do. And then the more, and so at 72%, that is 1.2 million the cities would give up, costing each city $412,000. That's $412,000 out of the general fund that either I have to cut services, raise taxes, gain revenue somewhere else, increase business license possibly, a combination of them. You know, it's not, the county likes to say, well, you would have to raise taxes if you lose it by 3.7 mils. That's not true. We may do a combination of a lot of things. We may cut services. I can tell you in this room right now that I met with the fire chief yesterday. He has 5 positions open, 3 are new hires, 2 are current, vacant. I told him to not hire those 3 positions right now until we see where this goes. That's $300,000. It's stuff like that that we're looking at to help if this does fail, but please call and just say, hey, work together, not against one another. Everybody's got to be able to give something to make this work. But we're giving county 3% off the bat, and they're saying they need 72%, because that's what their data shows. Well, our data shows it should be more of a 49-50, call it 50-50, and they absolutely, we didn't even project that offer because we knew they wouldn't accept it. So if you're in this room, please call. If you're watching, please call. All this can be found on the Department of Revenue. You can look under distributions for the cities. You can type in lost, and it tells you what the cities brought in and the county brought in for every single month. Right now, they're up to, I believe, October for 2022. So, and
Yeah,
this is going to get higher and higher.
I think this particular issue would definitely fall under our finance committee.
Yeah, and just to give you another little caveat, let me see what other sheet, maybe I don't have it. If you went off the county's numbers for projections, the first year Loganville would collect at the new rate 5.7 million, or the cities would collect 5.7 based on a 28% collection rate, but we would have to collect $20 million to get that. And that's a projected number. Who knows what the economy is going to do? We hope it goes up, but we just don't know. Oh, here it is. This is the sheet that really shows you the dramatic, and I hate to take time, but this is extremely important. So based on the county's proposal to us on the projections, starting at $20 million in 2023, going all the way till 2032 of $41 million. If we take 28% now, 28% now versus what we're currently at 35% is $20,800,000 in 10 years that the cities would lose. That's a lot of money. At 32, where we offer to go at 32%, we're still losing $8.9 million. And that's our offer we gave them at 32%. 32% versus 35%. That's what we're giving up over 10 years, if their numbers hold true. But, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. 3% is 3%. And that's what the county's trying to say. Well, you're still making the same thing, so you're not losing. Well, we are losing. If you take away from where we are now, you're giving it up. There's no way to look at it other than that. But he says, well, I can show you where you're making $6 million. So he said if the counties want, or the cities wants to forego $6 million, then it's going to be on them. It'll be their fault for losing this. And of course, you know, just watch the video. He will shut you down. He won't let you talk. So.
And the other side of the equation is they began at 74%, and they negotiated, or the
One
cities
offer.
helped them negotiate to 72. So,
Yeah, their two offers that they say was starting at 69%, going to 74%, and then that equates to 72.22 average.
Right.
And we said absolutely not, because in 10 years, when this comes back up again, and they're already at 74%, what's going to happen? They're going to keep wanting more. You know, everybody wants more. We do too. But we know this revenue is produced majority in the cities. But they like to say, well, internet sales tax. Yes, that is 100% correct. It has increased a good bit. But just like we told the chairman, get on the road and go look and see what shopping centers are in the county versus the cities. And there's your answer. But anyway, I can go on and on and on.
okay.
With that being said, do we want to, I'd like to make a motion that we allow Danny to have the authority to negotiate the 2023 lost in line with the other Walton County cities.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. And again, it will be
So,
a tough timeline.
You didn't have further discussion on that. So what we're saying is, we're going to allow them to negotiate, but I want to back up. The county, Tuesday night, voted, and they said, here's the number. And they said, and what I understood from the commission was, it's up to the cities to decide whether or not they want to accept it or not.
Correct.
Correct. So I don't know, and absolutely, I have all the faith in Danny to negotiate. My question is what's he going to negotiate when they've said no? You know, they've said this is what the number is.
That's a
So
fair question.
What I'm sitting there saying, questioning is what do we want to say? Is there something that we can say as a council that we want to see? Or you know, I don't know that where we've not drawn a line in the sand, where have we said we want to ask for some other change by the county?
Like arbitration.
Well, I believe that's been done, how many times?
11.
And that's true. There was a meeting, and that was the chairman's position, and 4 of the commissioners voted with him. However, there have been some commissioners who've been in touch with us who said they might be interested in doing something a little bit different, maybe, who knows. So it's still open to that
Sure.
last day.
Yeah, so, you know, the 70-30 keeps getting thrown around. I don't know if it'll get there. We can say 70-30 all day long, but the other 3 may not. But whatever happens,
County may not.
if it's not the 72-28, the county's going to have another meeting to change their vote if they do accept something less than that. And it can be done. Just because you vote on something doesn't mean you can't change your vote tomorrow. You can tell me right now, keep it the same, but tomorrow you can say, you know what, Danny, make it this. You have that right to change your vote. But it takes the majority. And that's kind of what I told them. I said, this line of sand is not a bully tactic, but sort of like trying to threaten us, like, hey, we're going to draw a line in the sand. Well, that line can be moved, trust me. Y'all have moved it on us many times. So,
Do
I mean,
you have
I
a
think that
Oh, I'm so sorry.
we don't have a lot of power if the county has the votes, which is why I'm afraid to tie him with any exact number, because if it comes down to the 11th hour and it's 72-28, it's use it or lose it. And I think that's ultimately why we're negotiating from a weak position, because we're going to, I mean, unfortunately, we're probably going to have to end up taking whatever they end up voting on, because we don't want to lose any of it. To your point, I understand where you're coming from. I just
Right.
I don't know that we have any negotiating room.
well, I think the county is somewhat, you know, $11 million is more percentage of their budget than is of ours. You know, we can do things that the county cannot do. We have transfers from utilities that we can do, the county don't have. Like I told you all, it would be a challenge to make it up, but we could. But, you know, that's what he's hoping on, that we just give in. And maybe we give in to a higher percentage, but I just don't know if 28% is there, because look at all the work we have done as cities, the bonds we've issued for the sewer and the water to bring these businesses in. Look at all the traffic that we have to deal with that supports this. You know, that's it's a big gamble to them to lose. That's where it's really the citizens is gonna have to put pressure on the elected officials to say, look, stop being greedy. It's a fair deal. You better do something. Like Melanie said earlier, you push it, they'll listen. But they're not gonna listen from the city manager. I can tell you that.
So, and just to be clear too, it's, the negotiations thus far have been the chairman and the county manager representing the county. And it has been the city managers of the 4 cities, Walnut Grove, Social Circle, Loganville, and Monroe, as well as the mayors. And y'all haven't made an agreement, right?
Walnut Grove does
Yes.
not have a city manager, so it's
Okay.
been the mayor.
Yes, it's been the mayor, yeah.
Right.
And there's been one meeting where some of the mayors was not in, except for the Walnut Grove mayor, but that was it.
Right.
I will
It's
just
tough
call your
negotiations.
commissioners.
We just have to see what
Sure.
happens.
All right, thank you.
And hopefully, both parties will have to swallow and accept an offer that does not meet what they desired. But it's come somewhere where it's at least fair. If not, shame on all of us.
Call the commissioners, call the elected officials, and city councils. That's all I have on Lost.
Okay, and we've given you the okay to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Okay?
Second issue is the letter of support for Gwinnett County for the SMART grant. It's a letter giving the authority for the mayor to sign. It was presented y'all Monday night.
That's really a no-brainer.
Yes, it's for a road in Gwinnett to,
Just a technicality.
yes.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, we have a second? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Carried. Okay.
Two other things that just came up on the last couple of hours, day maybe. The health department's contract is coming up, I believe, next year. We need to start thinking about extending that agreement. It was a 5-year deal, done in 2027. Melanie, it does fall under your committee, it's facilities, so I received an email from the director asking they would love to stay there, but the contract is coming up, so we'll need to make a decision on that.
Exactly, when does it come up, Danny? January?
I'm not exactly
I
sure.
think it's later.
I think it's later in the year too.
So it's leased?
Yes, they lease it from us. Well, they don't lease it. We allow them to stay in there.
We provide it.
We provide it. Is that a service, this a county service?
Yes, it
Where
is.
the city is participating in the service for the
Yeah,
county?
so
Is that-
back to loss, when the chairman says that cities don't do anything to help support the county, by then, we were not allowed to speak no longer, but, just give you some feedback. The senior center in West Walton down here is a city building. It's a senior service from the county. We pay for the utilities, pay for the maintenance of that building, and it's getting, it's not expensive, but we do pay for that. The health department is a countywide service. It's an enhancement to Walton County that you don't have to provide one, but we have two for all the citizens. It's not just Loganville residents, it's everybody. They get more Gwinnett, sometimes. We pay for that maintenance, and we pay for utilities. Now, they did pay for the renovation, but if something tears up, we do cover that now. If it's something major, then they do cover that with renovations, but utilities, we pay that as well.
Right.
And the library, the comment was made that he said you came and spoke, and I said, well, I believe it was the library board, but you did go and ask for it as well. Let's clarify that.
I did.
That is a regional library. It's not a city library, but it is a city building, and we do pay utilities and the maintenance costs on that. And also, we contribute to the payroll, as does Walton County. We pay $131,000 roughly. They pay, I believe, $81,000 maybe over 4 libraries. So we do contribute to that as well. So anyway, that will come up. So
Two things on the health department, just for info. When that was approved, I was on the council, and I was the last one to go along with that. because we could have rented that building for a lot of income. However, we were promised if we would do that, that we would get the WIC program in Loganville. It
And they
was
did.
only available in Monroe at that time, and they have. We have that now here. And they also discussed a lot of people who need those services were walking down 78 to our building down on Claude Brewer, Tommy Fuller, I guess. And that's a dangerous. Somebody walking down 78 to get to the old location was dangerous. I
Councilman
guess I
Long,
caved.
Sorry, sir.
I guess I caved.
Would you like to have a committee meeting with the health department, with your committee?
That would probably work,
Okay.
because I've got a lot of questions, and I'll come by, probably try to come by tomorrow or Monday and talk to you.
Monday, because we're closed tomorrow for Veterans Day.
That's right,
Yep.
okay.
And they did, I think, spend $250,000 on remodeling.
Yeah, they spent a good bit. They did a
Yeah.
lot of work.
They had to put sinks in every room and that kind of stuff.
They have a lot of visitors, I will say that. So I'll get that to you Monday or so.
I can come by Monday, and you and I can
Okay,
talk, and
yep.
then we'll look at the calendar
Okay,
to see when would be
sure.
a good day.
And then last was a phone conversation I had with Sizemore Group, just to bring y'all up to speed on that. You know, that we've hired them to do the mini charrette, which is just a mini design of what the possibilities could be. Just to clarify for the public, this is not a master plan. This will play into a master plan if you choose to go forth with the redevelopment of downtown. That's when all the public meetings and hearings and input will come from the citizens of what we want. But this mini charrette is just a kind of a high level, what would work, maybe not work. We originally talked about meeting with y'all individually with Sizemore to hear each of y'all, but when I talked to Councilman Whitfield, he wanted to do it in an open meeting. So we spoke with Sizemore. They gave me some dates in January. I told them that we'd like to keep it on a Thursday, non-council night, but also at 6 PM. I think all y'all really have kind of preached that evening hours, not in the mornings. So I will send you the dates out, but as Melanie brought up to me yesterday, I believe they're having a LDA meeting the first Thursday, city council second Thursday, and then the fourth Thursday, planning and zoning. So it narrows it down to the third one, unless we can move it and there another date that may work. But for the public, we will keep it at probably 6 PM, unless y'all tell me otherwise. And I told her just maybe an hour or so, just to hear from y'all. And then, of course, I know y'all will offer some input from the public as well. And then I told her that would be a kickoff meeting, and then when she comes back, I told her they probably more than likely would have another public meeting, because that's what y'all have told me, and that's what we told them. So that's the schedule, but no rush, what I've been told from y'all. So look like in January, we'll have that starting, that process. That's all I have, Mayor.
Have you gotten that invoice yet?
I received the retainer of $5,000.
Good, okay.
I'm waiting on their W-9. We had to have that before we put them in the system, but I received that as well.
Good, good. So we're making a little progress.
We are.
Did you intentionally not put Robin on the agenda on page 2?
Saving trees, sir.
Oh, they flipped it over.
A lot of trees we got to do, so we're saving them.
Wow, I'm glad he didn't take you off the agenda totally. Yeah, I am, I really am. Okay, and now we'll move to the city attorney, Robin Webb.
We discussed amending the rules of decorum resolution on Monday night to allow 5 minutes per speaker, to not limit the total amount of time that people are allowed to speak, and to move the public feedback portion of the meeting to the end of the work session, the regularly scheduled work session. So I emailed you all a revised rules of decorum resolution along those lines, which I believe you've all had a chance to look at. And so I would ask for either suggestions on how to change it some more, or if it's acceptable to you, to go ahead and adopt it.
Any final discussion? Okay, can we have a motion to accept this resolution?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have several seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, carried. And that will start with the December meeting
Yes, sir.
as the council.
Unless we have a
elected to do.
called meeting before then.
Okay,
Thank you, that's all I have.
that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I can make something up.
I have
Thank you.
another issue. Kyle, as promised from Monday night, there's our lovely Christy Ash receiving her award for HR. So
Very nice. Congratulations.
it takes many classes to get those if you're not familiar with it, but anyway, thank you. All right, and then last but not least. we're
You mean
gonna-
in closing?
Nope, we're gonna have to payback time. Happy birthday, that's right. Who wants to lead it? I guess I will, since I went to her kindergarten class.
Which, you gonna ask which year it is?
Well, I'm gonna back up because I almost forgot, but it's still a trap up here. Isn't it somebody else's birthday up here? Yeah, when? That's dang close. And Christy Ash, she will be 32 years old. So,
Every bit of it.
we're gonna sing Christy and Miss Janice happy birthday.
Very good.
Okay, 1, 2. I didn't want to say that, but okay.
I wasn't even gonna ask.
All right. Happy birthday to y'all. Happy birthday to y'all. Happy birthday, dear Christy and Janice. Happy birthday to you. Thank y'all.
We'll try not to do that again. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn? Just one motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, meeting is adjourned. Dr. Joel, now is when we opened up for this meeting for public comments. If you want to hear them, but I understand you've been here a while. Thank you for being here. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Okay, any public comments? Okay. We appreciate everybody being here. We thank you. And we're trying to do things that's best for your city. I promise.